Are your parents around? Hey kids, this episode of Live on Purpose TV is just for you. I'm gonna help you know how to convince your parents to get you a phone. I'm glad you found this video. I'm a psychologist. I've been doing this for 23 years. I've worked with a lot of parents and I know how they think. Not only that, I'm married to one. And I am one, and I had two. So I know a lot about parents, and I can help you figure out how to convince your parents to get you a phone or a dog or whatever it is that you want. Here's how it works. Now, first of all, are your parents watching this video too? Well, parents, if you're watching, I've got another version of this that you might really enjoy. You can link to it right up here. But I'm talking to you kids today. Okay? Because I want you to understand how your parents are thinking. It kind of comes down to this. Now follow this for a minute because this is powerful. Control is over here. Control means control over your own life. And between you and me, I think you should be in control of your life. That's what I'm going to get behind. Okay? Now, I think you're the best one to do it anyway. Control goes from 0 to 100%. So you can have all of the control or none of the control, or somewhere in between. Usually it's somewhere in between, let's be honest, okay? Down here is maturity. You've probably heard that word before, haven't you? Now, maturity just means how grown up you are. So an example is age. When you're first born, when you're a little bitty baby, we'll put birth right over here. How much control do you have over your own life? Yeah. Hardly any, right? Sure, you can make a big noise and a big stink, but that's about it. So it's clear down here. When you're a grown-up, an adult, how much control do you have over your own life? All of it, right? The adults control everything. So we're going to put that dot way up here. Here's how it works. Between birth and adulthood, we have a line where our control gets more and more as we get more and more grown up. So the more grown up you are, the more mature you are, the more control you get to have over your own life. Face it, if you were an adult right now, you wouldn't be wondering how to convince your parents to get you a phone. You'd just go get one. Now, because you're not yet an adult, we got to figure out a way to convince them. Going back to the model, what we're going to do next is take age out of the equation. So it's not about age now. I'm going to erase birth and adulthood. In fact, I want you to think stage, not age. Stage, not age. Are you with me? We're going to divide this into 3 stages, and that's going to make a whole lot of sense when we figure out how we're going to convince your parents. Now, stage 1 is the first one. Stage 2, second. Stage 3 is third. I know, brilliant, right? Now, stage 1 is the least mature. In stage 1, here's what it looks like. It's selfish. It's demanding. At stage 1, you throw tantrums. Stage 1 is all about fighting. Are you getting the picture here? Yeah. Now, this is immature. Okay? 2-year-olds can handle this stuff. How much maturity does it take to throw a tantrum? Really? But it's not about age. It's about stage. Can a 15-year-old throw a tantrum? Oh, you better believe it. In fact, it gets pretty colorful when you get older, but it's still considered immature. If you're in stage 1, you don't get to have very much control over your own life. Somebody else takes most of the control. Who else? Yeah, your parents. Because they can see that you're not mature enough to take control of your life, they step in and they get to be control freaks. Have you noticed? Now, when we move to stage 2, we stop fighting and start cooperating. At stage 2, you don't want any problems. You want to keep the peace. At stage 2, you're willing to negotiate. which basically means that you'll work with people, to come up with some kind of a good solution that benefits everybody. We call that a win-win solution, where you get what you want and your parents get what they want. See, we're going to work together with them so that everybody gets what they want. Stage 1, you don't care if your parents get what they want. You just want to make sure you get what you want. Well, that seems immature to your parents, and then they get kind of controlling. How about stage 3? Let's look at that one real quick. At stage 3, this is where you are truly responsible. At stage 3, you really care how other people feel. I call this empathy. Empathy is where you understand and care how somebody else feels. At stage 3, you're willing to do some service. Oh, here's a really great one. Stage 3 is all about initiative. Now that might be a new word for some folks. Initiative just means that you see what needs to be done and you do it without even being asked. Now, does this stuff seem kind of hard? Well, yeah, it seems hard. Only mature people can do this stuff. But what's the payoff? If you can get yourself over here, where you're doing these kinds of things, look what happens to the control. You get to have most of the control. Now, your parents still have a little bit, but not very much. Now, let's look at what this looks like from a practical standpoint. Let's say maybe you're 13, okay? Because I know you are. And somebody else watching the video is going to be a different age, but you're 13, right? Now, what stage are you on? Trick question. Because it's not about age, it's about stage. Let's say you're 13 and I'm your parent. That's a little scary, isn't it? Well, just go with me on this. And I come to you and I say, hey, Nate, would you please take out the garbage? And you, Nate, are 13 years old, but you're on stage 1. What would be your response? Yeah, you know, don't you? Yeah, sometimes it gets really colorful. What do you think I am, your slave? Nobody else has to do anything around here. It's always me. This isn't fair. I'm not going to do that. Do it yourself. I know you would never do that, but some kids who are 13 do this kind of stuff. I know. Blows your mind, doesn't it? How is that going to impact mom or dad? Here's a little heads up that I didn't give you before, but this is part of the parent psychology. If your parents are watching, just turn the volume down or something. Okay, here's the thing. It's not about how mature you are. It's about how mature your parents think you are. And if you're doing all of this, oh, I don't want to do it, and you're putting me out. How mature do you think your parents are going to think you are? Even if you're totally mature, they're going to think you're on stage 1 and they're going to get kind of control freakish on you. Just saying. Okay? Now, let's go to stage 2. Nate, would you please take out the garbage? I'm your parent, right? And if you're on stage 2, what are you going to say? Okay. You might not be happy about it. It might be kind of like, oh, fine. But then you do it. See, stage 2 is all about cooperation. You're not going to give them too much trouble. You're just going to do it. You might even be a higher stage 2 where you're like, yeah, okay, sure, right? And you just take care of it. And you follow through. This is harder. It takes more maturity. I know. But if you do that, how mature do you think your parents are going to think you are? Right. More mature. They back off on the control. They let you have more control. Let's go to stage 3. Hey, Nate, would you please take out the garbage? Of course you're going to do it on stage 3, right? You're going to take responsibility, but there's going to be initiative. Because your answer on stage 3 is, oh, Mom, I already took out the garbage, but is there anything else I could do to help you out today? And your mom is like, what? Who are you? And what'd you do with my kid? She's out cold on the floor, right? You're trying to revive her. Come on, Mom, stay with us. Look, when you take that level of responsibility, when you go to stage 3, not only does it blow your poor little parents' mind, it makes them think that you're more mature. Now, disclaimer, hey, you can't fake it. I mean, you can try to fake it, but if you're trying to fake maturity, how mature do your parents think you are when they catch you fake it? And they'll figure it out too. Yeah, they think you're less mature. It works against you to fake this. You gotta be sincere about it. You gotta have that maturity to be able to see what needs to be done, and you do it. Now, what does this have to do with convincing your parents to get you a phone? Has everything to do with that. Your parents will give you a phone happily. I know, you think I'm a little crazy right now, but I've tested this for 23 years as a child psychologist. That's code for I've figured out parent psychology. I know how parents think. If you show them stage 3 behavior, I guarantee you can ask your parents. Go ask them. You know, Mom, if I do this for what effect would that have? And she'd be like, oh, that would be awesome. I don't know if that'll ever happen. You do this, they'll back off on the control. You get to have more control. And not only can you convince them to get you a phone, you can get all kinds of freedom as you learn this simple little piece of parent psychology. I hope that helps. Let me know if it does. Hey, you guys, I know parents. I've worked with them a lot. I don't know if you want to share this with your parents, but maybe you got a friend who wants a phone too.